An aerial view of the Alpine Biathlon Centre in the mountains of PyeongChang County. It's a busy day here at the PyeongChang 2018 Paralympic Winter Games, and on the menu in the immediate future, two more races, the men's and women's in the standing categories will race. It's the men's 12.5 kilometres, but firstly the women's 10k. A magnificent day here with the sun beating down, maybe a touch windy, but not too prohibitive for accurate shooting. The biathlon is a combination event, cross-country ski over 10 kilometres for the women here, punctuated by 4 visits to the shooting range, 5 shots each. Time you get into the range for a total of 20 shots, so you have to be quick on the skis and sharp with the gun. 12 women on the start line from 5 nations in the women's 10 kilometre. The standing categorisation, Katarina Rumjantseva will be wearing bib 52. She was the gold medalist in the 6k event, and bib 44 there, Brittany Hudak of Canada. So the temperature slowly rising. We're at an almost balmy 10 degrees above here in the mountains.
A little bit of a breeze around, it'll test the athletes in the rifle range, that's for sure. Quite a range, speaking of which, in ages, 18 to 43 amongst just the 12 competitors we have in this 10k standing. Young athletes to lead us away. Mikhaeva, Paralympic athlete, and Iveta Faron of Poland, 19 and 18 respectively. Nakajima of Japan is the veteran in the field of 43, followed by her teammate Rika Abe. Serious contenders, as usual, are towards the back of the field with interval starts. Rumjantseva, neutral Paralympic athlete, is a double gold medalist already. Has come to the sport a little late. She's 27, but picked it up really after the Sochi Games. Here was the first Paralympic Winter Games, picking up medals. So it's no trouble at all.
Yeah, we've seen fabulous racing so far, and what's so interesting in the biathlon events is that combination needed, the endurance that is demanded over the cross-country ski. In this instance, 10 kilometres, so 4 times 2.5 here, into the range. You need to just bring the adrenaline down, find some calmness, get still, get steady, and shoot as good as you can. You can afford a couple of misses, but any more than that, it's extra distance on your race really. Every miss translates into a single loop of the penalty circuit, if you will, of 150 metres.
Rika Abe of Japan just doing some last-minute stretches in the start area. Go away in 30-second intervals. Up to 12:30 in the afternoon. Malpensia, county of PyeongChang, towards the east coast of the Korean Peninsula. A massive elevation. We're just at a bit over 700 metres. It's very cold. Early days, we had nights of -16 and -20. I think that now it's +10. It's quite a contrast. But they were expecting, as we got into March, that things would warm up quite quickly. That's what's happening. Big wave to the big screen. It's always a funny moment when you find yourself being sent around the world in that way. Here we go. We're close to a start. It's the women's 10k standing. Paralympic athlete Yulia Mikhaeva leads us away in the women's 10k. She's just 19 years of age, had a 14th in the 6k events. competed in para-athletics a couple of years ago. The Russian Federation began training in Moscow in 2015. Victor Faron. Best result recently was a 6th in biathlon at the World Championships. She's 18 years of age and is the youngest in the field. 6 minutes she completed at the World Championships. So that's the kind of time we'd be looking at, and faster athletes than her in the field, so maybe closer to the half hour. Natalia Bratyuk, bronze in Sochi in this very event, so she has form, she has the ability. Cross-country skiing also, she was had a 6th, that was in the sprint. Okay, bronze medal from Sochi, good credentials to bring. Four-year-old Brittany Hudak from Canada. The World Championships had a 5th in the 12.5K and 8th in the corresponding race here with the 10 kilometre. Just under 37 minutes duration that time. Really their time so heavily impacted by how many misses they have in the range. Momoko Dekajima. 43 years of age. And you can track her World Championship form back to 2003 when she had a 6th in 15K standing cross country. Has been around a while. Rika Abe, just 22 years of age by contrast. Second Winter Paralympics for her, so she was very young in Sochi when she picked up an 8th in the 15K cross country, and biathlon 13th in the 6K. Still maturing as an athlete at 22. Bordana Konashuk, making her debut at the Paralympic Winter Games at 19. In the 6K event here, she had a 10th and an 8th in cross country, 15 kilometre. Ukraine, very strong games in biathlon and cross country. Irina Bui of Ukraine next to go. 7th in Sochi in the 10K. So she'll be certainly looking for a top 5 finish if possible. She's had a 6th in the 6K biathlon already here. Yulia Batankova-Bauman, surely due for a medal. She's had 2 fourths in the 15 kilometre cross country and 6K in the biathlon. So she'll close in on the medals. She's had 8 silver and 4 bronze medals in Olympic competition. Anna Melenina. What a record she has. 14 Paralympic Winter Games medals, and she's got another 2 included in that total from here with the 6K in the biathlon and 15K in the cross country. And she's in great form. Ukraine team hoping for good things out of this race. Might get it too from Ludmila Lyashenko, who's 4th in Sochi in this event, 2nd at the Worlds. She ready for a medal today. already goes Lyashenko. That just leaves one to come. And she might be the one to beat, because it is Ekaterina Rumyantseva, neutral Paralympic athlete. Away she goes. She's in unbeatable form. She has 2 gold medals from 2 events, the women's 15K in the cross country and in the biathlon, the 6K. She's taken them both, and we've got the whole field now out onto this sun-drenched course.
Yeah, it really is difficult to look past our final athletes out of the starting gate, including Rumyantseva there. She missed the World Champs last year, and recent performances on the World Cup circuit suggest an improvement on the World Champs in 2015 in Wisconsin in the United States. Pair of nights and just off the podium in the 10K. So this very event for the standing Paralympic athletes. She was 4th in that, Rumyantseva, but already we're seeing the first athlete out of the gate into the range, and it is Yulia Mikhaeva, a neutral Paralympic athlete, and 3 from 3, so good start with the gun.
Oh, and one miss. They'll make 4 visits to the range, and to be amongst the medals, you've got to be shooting no worse than about 18 out of 20. Otherwise, it's just giving yourself too much of a burden and extra metres and time lost. 150 metres is the penalty loop that she's making her way towards. Baron and Bratyuk also in the range.
Yeah, they were 2nd and 3rd out. Already a miss for Farron, and that's 2 straight away. How could it not affect you for the rest of the race? Bratyuk, and that's good. 5 from 5. And a lovely clean first visit for Natalia Bratyuk.
And by contrast, shoot 5 out of 5 and you immediately feel good about yourself, and let's get out on the course and ski this next lap as fast as I can. I'm in good position. Hudak now.
Yeah, clean visit. Got to straighten the back, sharpen the shoulders, and make you go quicker. Canada's Hudak now in the range. She was 8th in the 6K. Good start. 5 from 5 for Hudak. First Olympics in the biathlon for Paralympic athletes. Dekajima, 13th in the 6K. Already a miss on the range. So 4 Paralympic Winter Games in both biathlon and cross country.
Dekajima giving herself a bit of a handbrake there.
Fellow countrywoman, Abe. And that's a miss. So red on the board already for Eureka Abe. She was 9th in the 6K. Wow, that's tough to recover from. 2 misses in your opening visit to the shooting range. Now then, what can Irina Bui produce? 2 misses for Konashuk as well. Contrasting fortunes for the Ukrainian ladies there. 5 from 5 for Bui, and she's away quickly. So the race is on. Eureka Abe in the red ski suit in the front of your picture there. 48 is Irina Bui from Ukraine, 9th in this event in Sochi. She got a 6th in the 6K. A very good start. A nice big fat 0 there. And her first visit to the shooting range, and to the tune of 29 seconds she enjoys the lead. But we try not to take too much notice of the early provisional rankings, because the leadership changes so quickly depending on how these athletes fare in the shooting range. Now then, Milenina, who is third to last out of the blocks.
Button Baumann also top of the screen there. She's surely due for a change of fortune. 8 silver and 4 bronze medals at the Paralympic Winter Games in cross country and biathlon. Button Baumann. She puts together her perfect race and just gets a little bit of cooperation from her rivals, and maybe today will be the day. She certainly persists, that's for sure.
And good stuff from the Ukrainian competitors. That's Lyashenko going clear as well. So 5 from 5, but it is Bui currently who is quicker. Batting over Baumann just outside the medals in the 6K, an agonising 4. She missed just a 1 shot actually from the 10 and the 2 visits to the range in the shorter biathlon event. The 10K perhaps her weakest discipline. Lyashenko just moves into the lead ahead of Irina Bui. This is shaping up as an inter-team battle between the Ukrainians.
Rumyantseva just into the range now, and she is the one to watch, we feel. She has factoring on her time of 88% as an LW 5.7. So she gets the most generous compensation because of her impairment. But she's a very good skier. She's got this skating freestyle technique absolutely mastered, and when she shoots straight, as she's just done there, she becomes very difficult to beat.
She missed just the single shot on her way to winning the gold medal in the 6K. This is her first Winter Paralympic Games for Ekaterina Rumyantseva.
You know, they often have great stories about how they came to the sport. Rumyantseva, we say that didn't take it up until after Sochi. She saw it on the television there and wanted to join the team. She didn't know how to ski even before, so she knew nothing about it. Didn't even know what it was. Now here she is amongst the world's best.
She's got a little bit to make up though. Ekaterina Rumyantseva down in 3rd place behind the 2 Ukrainians at the end of the first shoot. And 2 misses each for Stanashuk and Dekijima. And that's undermined their progress in this race. The women's 10K in the standing category here at the PyeongChang 2018 Paralympic Winter Games. By the way, the gold and silver medalists from Sochi not here competing this time around. Elena Kaufman and Alexandra Kolinova. So we will have a new Winter Paralympic champion in this event.
So Rumyantseva, Lyashenko, Button Baumann, Bui, Hudak and Brachu were the clean shooters from that first visit to the range. And I'll be hoping to continue that. And the longer you shoot straight, the further up the rankings you go.
2 misses from Dekijima up, threatening the podium at present. But those timings will change, and Bui moving back into the lead over her compatriot as well. It's already been a fabulous experience for the Ukrainian para biathletes here in PyeongChang with a quite brilliant win for the 18-year-old male, Taras Rad, in earlier events here.
Tight gathering of athletes making their way up this incline. 51 there is Lyashenko, using the 1 pole and getting what drive she can from it. And the inside edge of the skating ski, herringbone style up the hill. Skating the herringbone, I suppose. Correct. 46 there, Erika Abe coming through, and 50 is Melanina. And an indication of just how warm it is in the shirt sleeves. And in that commentary box, we've got the heater off and the door open. That's how warm it is outside. We're trying to cool the place down. And these are the Winter Paralympics, but that's the kind of day we've got.
Well, any warmer and we'll be digging out the Hawaiian shirts, I feel. It's a case of temperatures soaring genuinely here, certainly in contrast to the weather at the recent Winter Games. Bratiuk now went clean in her first visit to the range.
Coming up very soon, we'll have our next start. The stadium, that will be our men's 12.5
First miss.
standing event.
Just the delay as she realigns, recalibrates.
You can see just from ahead that there's some wind on the range, and it just moves the gun around a little bit. Hold it in tight to the shoulder as much as possible, depending on their impairment. But the way she goes, and the bronze medalist, remember, from 4 years ago, so Bratiuk has to be thought of as a contender here.
Yeah, she had a bronze as well in the 12.5K in Sochi, that after finish of 9th in the standing events. So she does excel over the longer distances. This goes down as a middle distance race for the women at 10 kilometers here.
Bui, one of the clean shooters from the first visit, comes in. From Ukraine, 96% factoring with an LWA classification. Gets set. Not telescopic sights on these rifles. It just
delay,
took too
but
long. The longer she took, the more anxious perhaps she
Wasn't
became.
worth the wait, and that's a disastrous end to the second visit to the range for Bui after that clean first visit. There's 2 big red marks there against her now, and that will be 2 penalty loops.
Lyashenko to come in, having 5 out of 5 first time round.
World champs, silver medalist, 4th in Sochi.
Rifle listing looks almost like a shock absorber.
Coming up to the start, a few moments of our men's 12.5.
Oh, 2 misses, just like Bui before her, and maybe conditions getting a little trickier out there. Milanina now, just the 1 miss, that from her first visit. So she is back out without the hampering of a requirement to carry out a loop of the penalty circuit, equating to 150 metres. And I tell you what, they rack up to serious extra distance on the race course itself.
Oh, Batnikova Baumann has just had a shocker. She's missed 3, having shot clean at the first occasion, and sort of sweating on her result, thinking she must be due one day soon for that ultimate result that doesn't look like it will be today, unfortunately. Here is Rumyantseva now, who's looking for a 3rd gold medal at these games. Coasting up to her position, slowing things down. Such a contrast, isn't it, between the extreme effort out skiing and slowing all down.
I think this is the attraction full stop of the biathlon, isn't it? The range of skills required, the endurance, the speed, and then just the ability to bring the heart rate right down, get low, and just introduce some poise. But that's a miss from Rumyantseva. It's only a 2nd target miss, all told, in the biathlon competitions here in PyeongChang 2018. She missed just 1 on her way to winning the gold medal in the 6K.
So we've now only got one competitor who's 10 out of 10 at the range, and that is Hudak of Canada.
Second at present. These the rankings at the end of the second shooting stage. Milanina is our provisional leader, the silver medalist in the 6K. She didn't miss at all in that first race, the 6K, the first event for the women in the standing category here.
And the men's race is underway, and Ruslan Reiter of the United States is first off. There's a field of 14 from 11 different nations, and Ruslan leads them away. Hoshizawa now, and we've had Wu Jindao as well.
Hoshizawa away for Japan, 17th in the 7.5K. So this is going to be an interesting race as well. We've got 14 competitors from 11 different national Paralympic committees, 11 nations going in the men's at 12.5K, 64. That's the bib worn here by Alexander Gerlitz, who was 7th in the 7.5. This is the equivalent men's middle distance race. Gerlitz is in his first Olympic Games. At 6th, 7th and 9th in 3 cross-country disciplines in Fisterau, the world champs last year. And next to go. Harkonnen
back out onto the course with the women's event now, which is heating up nicely. Yantseva, despite a miss, is still very much in contention. 41, Yulia Mikhaeva, who's had a miss at each stop. Yanina coming through a minute ahead of Hudak with that one miss. The snow just softening up a little in these very warm conditions. Bonashuk coming through. She's going to be a couple of minutes behind Melanina's checkpoint time at 4.8K. So this is a 10K race just about at the halfway stage.
Yeah, keep your eye as well on Brittany Hudak, who's shot clean so far through 2 visits to the range, and might be able to shake up the neutral Paralympic athletes and the Ukrainians, who started very, very good with a rifle, but have faded a bit since. And then Fallon, having bib 42, she was last, unfortunately, in the 6K. 7 misses all told, so only found 3 targets. So way down the order. And then wearing 51, Lyudmila Lyashenko comes in behind. A clean first visit and then 2 misses second time round into the shooting range. So Milanina still our leader with that 1 penalty thus far.
Nakajima just leaning into a work up the hill and just trying to keep the skiers in front of her within visual range to give her some kind of guide to how far she needs to go. But it's a softening snow scenario out here with the conditions out of 10 or 11 degrees. As to men's competitor, we're going to have
yeah, that's Wu from the men's race. He's looking at the 12.5, and so 2 races running concurrently out there at the Alpenzia Biathlon Centre. The standing races, the middle distance races for the women and men, women over 10K, men over 12.5K. And Brittany Hudak straight through her first visit to the range. Now then, she can keep this calm, keep the heart rate down, keep the zeros up there. She has a real chance here. Oh, absolutely beautiful. She took her time getting her sight to line, but then just shifting an inch or so across to the left to absolutely nail those targets. So 10 from 10 targets hit for Brittany Hudak. It's her first Olympics in the biathlon, her first Winter Paralympics, competed in cross country in 2014, 10th, 11th and 12th. So not challenging the podium, but I tell you what, she is here.
Yep. And the shooting is really giving her a platform to put in a good finish here. Brachik also making a way into the range, but last checkpoint we had neutral Paralympic athletes and Ukraine athletes filling the top 6 positions. So they look to have it between them unless someone like Hudak can get amongst them. It doesn't seem likely at the moment. Melanina with a miss at the first stop, none at the second. Wanting to shoot clear here. Put some pressure on Rumyantseva and Lyushenko. And a miss. That will be costly. It's quickening the tempo on the shooting through the last 4 to in some way make up that first up wayward shot. But it's now 2 misses in total for Melanina.
But Anna Konashuk, who had 2 misses on her first visit, none in the second. So here she goes, trying to keep that going, pick up from where she left off in that second visit to the range.
Favourites are still to come through. Hudak's time will stand up until we get the likes of Rumyantseva and Lyushenko through. Konashuk. An early miss. Hudak, Brachuk and Bui all through clean on the third attempt. So Bui outside Melanina, inside the time of Brachuk as they leave for the third time. So she'll have herself in a podium position for the moment. Might only be a brief hold on it as we await the third shoot from Rumyantseva. She's in now. There she is. So Rumyantseva clean at the first, 1 miss on the second. Just looks to have that rifle rock steady. Well, that's a great visit for Rumyantseva. That'll set her up for a quick lap. And she heads off full of confidence, and maybe she will, she's got Melanina covered. She'll certainly emerge from the range in the next 30 seconds or so with a handsome lead. Rumyantseva, 2 gold medals in the pocket already. I don't think she's carrying them around the course with her. It doesn't need that weight. It's an impressive Paralympic Winter Games so far for her.
Handsome lead, really handsome lead as well of Melanina. Neutral Paralympic athletes in dominant mood here.
But there's still a battle between Melanina and Lyushenko for the bronze medal, as there is only 10 seconds separating, exactly 10 seconds.
Rumyantseva skiing without stocks that asks quite a lot of the legs, particularly with the climbs. Gets the job done well, and she leads it by over a minute. 10 seconds only between Melanina and Lyushenko, and it's back to Brittany Hudak, who's shooting brilliantly. No misses so far. The best in the competition.
Yeah, speeds down and that pushes her off the podium. Unfortunately for Brittany Hudak at present, Rumyansova, Melanina and Lyashenko. There's a lot of blue and yellow on that board, but not in amongst the leading positions. So that's a contrast to the way the leaderboard looked after the first visit to the shooting range.
I think we've got a DNF from Batenkova Baumann. She's notified on our screens as having pulled out. She had a bad second shoot where she missed 3. And for reasons as yet unknown, she's withdrawn. It's a shame.
So that's Natalia Braziuk just swooping round that right-hander, 6th and 7th in 2 cross-country events back in Sochi 2014, and the pair of bronze medals as well, 10K and 12.5K in the biathlon also 4 years ago.
Lenina out on course, enjoying the sun, if not the exertion. Lead 48 in Ukraine, coming through just outside that time of by a minute 24. Hudak in 3rd position as these skiers come through. More to come. Lyashenko questing this hill. Squeezes into 2nd position. Only 15 seconds down on Melanina. This is a great race between these two. Rumyansova, they need to falter somehow, and putting together yet another good race.
Fourth in Sochi, World Championship silver medalist Lyudmila Lyashenko.
Snow softening under the traffic and the conditions. Not locked into that aerodynamic tuck position. A little moment of relaxation before the work continues. Rumyansova up the hill. Swings the arms, works off the inside edge. Impressive is that she's come to the sport so late and has mastered it so quickly in both aspects of it. She is a stranger to it all. That's how she was talked into it. Well, talked into it following her own interest, following the Sochi Paralympic Winter Games. I think that's one of the great benefits of this sport finding its way onto television, is that it introduces athletes, or potential athletes with an impairment, to what might be achieved, places they can go, competition they can enjoy, and the friends that they inevitably make too.
Yeah, in terms of the places they're going, Rumyansova is heading right on to another gold medal on current form in this race. A minute 18 up, and it's a decent margin. It really is. Just the one miss so far in 3 visits to the shooting range. So that's Brittany Hudak, who has been flawless with the rifle so far. 15 from 15, and to just keep breathing down the neck of the bronze medal position, she has to straight this too. Well, Brittany missed a target each on those 2 visits to the range in the 6K race. It dropped her right down to 8th place.
Studied social work at the Saskatchewan Institute of Applied Science and Technology.
Oh, first blink from Brittany Hudak, so it's a 19 out of 20, and I'm afraid that's dropped her out of contention, really. She was in with a bit of a shout of the bronze. I think that's gone now.
Melanina, 2 misses at the 1st and 3rd. She goes clear here. She can consider a medal. That's good. That might put some pressure on Rumyantseva. Unless there is some pressure applied, there's nobody going to stop her. But Melanina has done what she can.
Well, no, I think that's exactly right. It's turning into a bit of a possession, this, for Rumyantseva. Melanina, with those 2 misses so far into the Paralympic history, goes right back to Torino 2006, 5th and 4th, 3 silver medals, and then the gold medal in the 3-kilometre pursuit, a different event that was on the roster in Vancouver in 2010.
Lyashenko now. A bit through clear here. Could be a top 3 finish. That wind is really blowing through the range from the west. And she's got it done. That's a good result.
So, an 18 out of 20 for Lyudmila Lyashenko. Blue and yellow back on the board for Ukraine.
She will be in second position as she comes through the range checkpoint. But we still yet to have a visit from Rumyantseva. Lyashenko shot clear. Bratyuk likewise.
And it's a shame for Irina Bui, those 2 misses on that 4th visit to the shooting range, coupled with the 2 misses on visit 2. That's a total of 4 misses. Now then, Rumyantseva, with just the 1 miss so far, can consolidate and can ring fence her lead here. Last visit to the shooting range for our leader. Never in doubt, absolutely imperious.
She looks so poised. It's just steady. The concentration is there, but the technique is brilliant. And Rumyantseva, 1 miss, so 19 out of 20. And any biathlete would be pleased with those percentages. Would like some of that at school.
Well, 13 shots all told. If you add in those 10 shots in the 6K, she missed just 2 of them. Absolutely fabulous.
So yeah, well, that's an 80-second lead for Rumyantseva, so she's got quite a bit to play with. This will be a very comfortable last couple of kilometres for her. Don't know that there's another athlete in this field who looks as steady and still in the range as Rumyantseva. She's got something there. Great technique, so she's got good coaches and she's able to execute. So Rumyantseva, it is from Melanina and Lyashenko. And there's quite a margin between those potential place getters. Lyashenko would have to ski a lightning last lap to catch Melanina. Here is Melanina out on course with 9 of the 10 kilometres done when she comes through this checkpoint. Taxing climb. Stop the clock through there. A bit of a breather along the flat.
Bratyuk comes through. Just the 1 miss so far for Bratyuk. 20 years of age, the youngest in this race. We've got 3 teenagers out there. Konashuk just 19 years of age, Mikeva the same age, and Baron at just 18, way down the order at present after 5 misses, and 5 misses too for Mikeva. So this is Brittany Hudak, and although she's just had the 1 miss, she's out of contention. Speed's down a little I'm afraid, Brittany Hudak, but still a more than respectable performance here.
It's going to be one of the best, isn't it? She's had a couple of fifths at World Championships in the 12.5K and the 6K. 6K was a couple of years ago in the United States, but in Germany last year, fifth in the 12.5K. So if she were to sneak a fourth here, I'm sure she'd count it as one of her best performances on the back of that very good shooting. Just one miss.
Biathlon, current bronze medal position for Lyudmila Lyashenko, and she's going to try and get up to Anna Milanina, but it's going to take a massive effort here. So Badana Konashuk with those 4 misses, that's her chances after a very, very strong start from all our Ukrainian athletes out there. Konashuk and Bui, Batinkova, Bauman and Lyashenko, but Batinkova Bauman, by the way, is a DNF. She will not finish this race. So this is Anna Milanina, currently in second place and all alone in second place as well. The veteran whose Paralympic career dates back to 2006 in Sochi. So a multi-medalist, a multi-gold medalist in the cross-country events. 4 Paralympic golds all told.
Coming down to the finish, so we're going to have a benchmark time offered by Anna Milanina in just a moment. Paralympic athlete forcing her way to the line with everything she's got left. She's carving quite a track. She does it in 35.5 minutes flat.
So we will see then what time Rumyantseva can post. That's the lead at present. So barring an absolute catastrophe, Rumyantseva will win this women's 10-kilometer race. Well, they're all grouped in the stands around the finish line to cheer them home. 47 there is Konashuk.
Been overtaken by a couple of competitors in the men's race that we've also got going on at the moment. The men's 12.5K standing. And we'll swing our attention across to that in a minute. But let's get these women across the line in the 10K and see if anyone can challenge Milanina. We know Rumyantseva can, but Bratyuk is already well outside that time.
Yeah, despite the 1 miss, the time's not there for Bratyuk. The neutral Paralympic athlete comes in at present. Well, there's a 2 by a name, but expect that to be scratched out when we have further finishes.
Hudak into second, and now Lyashenko comes in.
Yeah, so Hudak will drop out of the podium positions. Lyashenko heading forward, really, by the time Rumyantseva comes in. A great surge, a great effort, but just not quick enough, despite decent, very good shooting from Brittany Hudak.
48 is Elena Bui coming through. I think if you bring your best performance to the stage where it matters most, if you don't walk away with a medal, but you can't do any better than you have done, I mean, that's how it goes. And a lot of athletes are reconciled to that quite well. They're filled with joy with their own performance, if not the position in the overall field. I like seeing that. I don't know what it is that you can do better than your best.
And more finishers just dig in and push on towards the finish line here. So Ekaterina Rumyantseva, bottom of your picture in that black ski suit. She has run a terrific race here. Just that 1 miss, and she's been quick. Boy, has she been quick. So Rumyantseva knows she's got this in the bag, and she eases up at the end. A massive win for Ekaterina Rumyantseva. 3rd gold medal of these Paralympic Winter Games. Brilliant performance.
Equally impressive is that it's 3 from 3 starts. Late to the sport, what a talent. Staron comes in for Poland. Ireta on. Rumyantseva still has the sprint and the 12.5K. Who's to say how many she might take away?
Yeah, what an addition to the Winter Paralympic roster. She has turned out to be Katerina Rumyantseva. What do we call that? Wire to wire. A terrific win.
Yeah, shot well, skis well. She's got a grace and ease about her. She's a natural biathlete. You start to think about the years she missed because she didn't even know about the sport before Sochi, but she's making up for it now, big time.
Yeah, the finishing positions known really from the third visit to the range onwards. Ekaterina Rumyantseva from Anna Milanina, so two neutral Paralympic athletes in the top two positions, and Lyudmila Lyashenko leading Irina Bui home. It is Lyashenko who wins bronze for Ukraine. Well, she was out last. She came in quickest. Ekaterina Rumyantseva with an imperious race. She got it all together. She married all the elements, and she comes home to win her third gold medal of these games, the latest in the women's 10-kilometre in the standing category. So we're going to turn our attention swiftly to the other race being contested out there, which started after the women's 10K got underway. And this then is the men's 12.5 kilometre for standing athletes. It's the middle distance equivalent for the men. So we're seeing here Arends come in, world champion over this distance, silver medalist in the 7.5K.
And Igor Repchuk is the only one ahead of Arends at the most recent checkpoint of 6.25K, so he's having a good event and expected of him. And the Frenchman Benjamin Davier, who's already medalled a couple of times, he's also in the running.
Yeah, watch out for Davier. He was the gold medalist in the 7.5 kilometre race. Repchuk went out second to last. Davier, by the way, the flying Frenchman, went out last. So if you're looking for clean shooters, it is Harkonnen and Sitnik, but Arends and Repchuk and Davier are the men to watch out for, really. They've got the speed, and if they have the accuracy and the composure on the range, then it's difficult to look past those last three out, really. So Arends going really well. It's his third Winter Paralympic Games. No medals in 2010, but then the run of success started. Bronze in this event and silver in the 7.5K in Sochi, and he was silver in the 7.5 here.
His score is just helped by that one miss chalked up by Repchuk at that third visit. So, and this is Davier making his way now through that underpass and towards the range once more. He is 10 out of 10 so far. Arends and Harkonnen of Finland. He's also 15 out of 15. Not in contention at the moment. Davier. He's set himself a pretty ambitious target of wanting 3 gold medals at these games. He's got one, and he's got a silver from the 20K, gold in the 7.5K. The 20K was cross country.
Davier hasn't missed a shot yet in these games. He was clean in his gold medal performance in the 7.5K. Third visit to the range. Boy, that's good shooting. It really is. He hasn't blinked. He hasn't missed a trick with a rifle in hand here at PyeongChang 2018, and he is looking really, really good at the moment. Benjamin Davier from the French army.
The French were celebrating Martin Foucault a few weeks ago. Now they're celebrating Benjamin Davier's performances. There's a big French contingent here. They know they've got a champion in this man, Benjamin Davier. Can he do it today? He's got hot competition from Repchuk and Arens from Ukraine and Canada.
He really has, and the lead is just 9 seconds though, so this is going to be a race right down to the wire. Davier from Arens, and then those 3 Ukrainians bump. But the leading athlete in the blue and yellow is Igor Repchuk, 44, maybe 45 seconds behind our leader. Really strong shooting from the top athletes in this particular category.
Such a close, tight race. You cannot miss
Just
one
having another
target.
look
You
at
cannot
Mark
make one
Arens.
slight mistake.
Also got 4 medals, none of which were gold, by the way, at the World Champs in cross country. Multi-talented, multi-skilled, quick in cross country, and the skiing section of the biathlon, and not bad with a rifle in hand either.
Davier there with the strap wrapped around the left hand just to give that extra stability. And now you're looking at Wu Junbao and these Chinese biathletes who are equipping themselves with great experience here in PyeongChang.
Yeah,
only them with their eyes in full this time.
I was going to say the big one for the Chinese athletes. You look at their bios, and it is the 2022 Paralympic Games in Beijing that is their ultimate goal in truth. Masaru Hoshizawa comes through now, but as we can see there, those 5 missed targets have him just over 11.5 seconds down. But Masaru trying to dig in and make up some ground. We shall see if he's able to achieve that. He went out 3rd after Ruslan Reiter of the United States and Wu Junbao, and plenty of French tricolores waving, and one or 2 tricolore wigs as well.
This is a tantalising last section of the race, because in Arens you've got the current world champion over 12.5 Ks. In Davier you've got the PyeongChang gold medalist over the shorter distance of 7.5. Who is it going to be today?
Well, the final visit to the range is going to be massive. Looking here at Mark Arens, the man from the Maple Leaf Nation, Canada. Bib 72, so he went out 3rd to last. It was Igor Repchuk and Benjamin Davier who went out after him with the maximum work to do. If you look at the sort of reverse order at which they're released from the starting gate, strongest athletes last, basically. And Ruslan Reiter, who's missed 3 targets, he went out first. So some way down. Gerlitz from Kazakhstan, wearing bib 64, he's missed 5 targets. But Repchuk there is a definite medal contender.
Interesting to read the thoughts sometimes of the athletes that they're happy to disclose about the challenges they've faced. I mean, Mark Arens lost his arm as a very young fellow, only about 7 or 8 years of age, in a farm accident, and he looks back at it now and thinks, well, this has presented me with opportunities and challenges I might not have otherwise had, and he doesn't think of it as a negative now, and hoping to push harder in life and show others my ability, not my disability. I hear that story again and again, and that's why we love this elite level of sport for these athletes. This stories are really interesting and get us thinking.
So, our race leader, Benjamin Davier, Arens is pushing him all the way. Davier says that his idol is the Norwegian legend Ole Einar Bjørndalen, and of course from his home nation, we mentioned him a little earlier, the brilliant Martin Fourcade. So Davier learns from the best. Our leader here in the men's 12.5 kilometres.
I wonder if he set himself a goal of 3 gold medals, because that's what Fourcade got. But to put himself in that company would be something, and he's not far from it. And let's see how it pans out this afternoon as he tries to get the better of Arens and Repchuk. It looks to be settling down to be a battle between the Canadian and the Frenchman. And you're watching Arens now. So the snow looks quite soft, doesn't it? As the athletes make an impression on it.
So when you're all alone like that, concentration is absolutely key. Just one slip, one lapse, the slightest split second when your mind wanders, that can result in a clipping of the skis and a tumble, and before you know it, you go from a medal position to pretty much nowhere. Now then, Mark Arends down into the range for the fourth time. He hasn't missed a shot all day. Got 5 more to go. Oh dear, he's missed his first. Quick recovery. Oh, that was a recovery. He's just trying to scratch that out, but that could be all important. That one miss, only the one miss, but that's the difference a lot of the time. It means a penalty loop.
A silver medal 4 years ago and a bronze in the 7.5K and 12.5K, and a silver medal here in the 7.5K. Arends so badly, I'm sure, wants that gold, but he's getting a fight from Benjamin Davier, that's for sure.
And Repchuk as well has a podium place. Now then, can he bump himself up if he can go clear? He has a miss already. Can't really afford another one. Wow, when they get in the zone and make it look easy. That was done in a rapid-fire succession. Well played, Repchuk, on his last visit.
Oh, he's going to close this up on Arends quite significantly. It will still be Arends, but only by a few seconds as Repchuk swings past the checkpoint, emerging from the range for the last time.
And crucially, he's got that visual reference now, hasn't he? Heading in towards the finish line. So we'll wait for Davier to shoot for the last time at his final 5 targets. And then Romaniuk has missed 3 so far, so another 2 red marks on that.
Here's Davier just coming into the range. We just saw him in the background there. He's settled into his position, and it's all about 5 from 5 now for Davier. Could wrap it up here. It's all down to his concentration.
Oh, that's a miss at the last visit. So that's a penalty loop.
French fans can barely look. He just can't get settled.
Well, it's recovered well, but it's still a penalty loop. It's still an extra 150 metres.
It feels like more than that because he took so long to get settled after the miss that it chewed up another 15 seconds there, and Davier might have just counted himself out, and Arends might be close to that first Paralympic Winter Gold.
Yeah, I really think he might be, with Repchuk hot on his heels. Who's going to be better over this last circuit now in this 12.5 kilometre race? Sitnik's in at the range now.
So, yeah, he's Davier. Oh no, he's got the loop, of course, and so he's going to be outside Arends this time.
It's going to take a monumental surge now. He's got to dig in and use every last drop in the tank here, Davier. But well, it was a nice moment, actually. We saw a good visual reference with Arends coming out of his penalty loop, and then Repchuk coming in behind him without needing to go the extra 150 metres. But this is a really interesting finish to this race. Now Davier with that miss, only the one miss, but it could be the miss that's the difference between a gold and a silver. Oh, they're on the edge of their seats.
So it's Canada, France and Ukraine, and they're all in it. But Davier coming through, and 67 there is Romaniuk. This is the sort of finish we love, and I'm not sure the athletes love it. They've just got to deal with it and come up with the best outcome they can. And Davier makes his way on this incline out of the stadium.
Up and over the hill is Romanyuk on the right of your picture there, but I suppose the man wearing 74 is the one we're most interested in now then. At the end of shooting 4, look at that, 0.3, Davier behind Mark Arends, and then Repchuk 10 seconds back. Wow, we've got a hell of a finish off. We really have here. Arends from Davier and then Repchuk.
I think we better wait for the next checkpoint. I'm not sure that 0.3 margin wasn't put up before he finished his penalty loop. So let's wait for a bit more clarification around this last lap of 2.5 Ks.
There's Repchuk. Got ahead of Arends. But it's not as straightforward as that. The factored times come into play here. Repchuk from Arends.
Repchuk has skied a very fast last kilometre or so. Arends maybe just struggling a bit to maintain the pace he set early. So Repchuk, Ihor Repchuk, maybe it's with him at the moment. Looks to be finishing the stronger. And gold in the 20k cross country and bronze in the 7.5k biathlon. He's already got a couple of medals, and here is Davier. And seeking some inspiration. See if he can take back that missed shot, no doubt. And of course, after 11.4 Ks, it was Repchuk by 12 seconds ahead of Arends. So we need Davier to come through and give us a clearer picture of the top 3.
So this is Gerlitz, who's way down the order after his 6 misses from 20. 4 visits to the shooting range from Kazakhstan. But we're going to see our first finishers in the not too distant future. The first out, the first athlete out in this 12.5k race.
Nice little relaxing couple of 100 metres here. Just a bit of high-speed freestyle skating. As Ihor Repchuk looks to be finishing full of energy. He can see the stadium. Down he comes into the finishing straight. Negotiate this very fast right-hander. Fans and coaches training to get a better view of this man, Ihor Repchuk. Ukraine, will he do it?
Giving it everything. Ihor Repchuk. Terrific race. Here he comes.
He's got plenty left. This is a withering finish from Repchuk. Throws himself at the line. You can sense that his opportunity has come.
35-31. Watch Arends in behind him. Well, he's done it. Repchuk, terrific surge into the line, and he played it to perfection. So in the end, 22.9, coming out of that last visit to the shooting range, he had the gas in the tank with Repchuk.
So that first Paralympic Winter Games gold is still some way off for Mark Arends. Just has to be patient, put himself in position as he continues to do, and maybe it'll come. Davier and Repchuk were given the same time at the 11.4k checkpoint. This is very exciting. We're not watching him at the moment. 64 there is Gerlitz of Kazakhstan, but Davier, there is nothing between his time and Repchuk's. Literally nothing.
Well, this is the finish of Alexander Gerlitz.
Kazakhstan supporters cheering him on to a finishing time about 5 minutes behind that of Repchuk.
But we wait for Davier to come into the stadium section, and you will hear the screams, the support of the French crowd when that happens, because they will be pumping him on, they really will. And here he is.
So 35:31.8 is the time to beat. That's posted by Repchuk. And the French team around on the course will have been encouraging him all the way. Here he is swinging into the home straight. Davier, what's he got left? Can he do it? Repchuk sitting in gold medal position from Arentz and Görlitz. But here comes Davier. Down to the line. And where is his time? 35:12, 35:31. Oh, this is close. He's still got some 50 metres to ski. But it looks like he might do it. Davier is racing to the line. He's got a couple of seconds up his sleeve. It's a second gold medal for Davier. Well, what a finish.
What a finish and what a race. Well, we knew that the three athletes last out of the gate, Arentz, Repchuk and Davier, would pretty much fight it out amongst themselves, and that is what happened. Davier had just enough, as we see Romaniuk surging over the line and buries his face in the snow. He's spent. So here we have our finishers. Now it's Stefan Lemke of Germany, not the quickest ski. He missed only 2 targets all in.
You know, you're quite right to talk up the race in total. Those 3 men who finished first, second and third, all of them only missed 1 target. So they kind of leveled the playing field between them. And there was so little between them as they crossed the line. And Davier, well, what a last lap he skied. He's threw everything at it.
And that's it, missing just the 1 target each. They all had the same penalties in effect. Their race distance had another 150 metres bolted on it due to the penalty loop. So it was all about the ski. It was all about who had it at the end. And it was a terrific finish, it really was. And what were you saying earlier about looking up to Martin Fourcade? Davier's there himself.
You know, I sometimes think after they've crashed through the pain barrier and crossed the finish line, it takes a while to get back past that barrier and drag yourself to your feet, as Davier now does. Harkonnen, as a matter of statistical interest, was the only skier not to have missed a target. He's just not quite quick enough around the course. A very creditable 7th for Harkonnen.
I suppose we give him a little bit of leniency. He is 43 years young. This man, though, 28. Fabulous. Bravo, Benjamin Davier. 69, Vitaly Sitnik. So 3 missed targets. And Sitnik's going to come through in 9th place, 7th, all told. Well, we'll see the recognition ceremonies very soon when the talents of Davier will be recognised once more. Bib 70 worn by Keiichi Sato. 4 misses for him. So that equated to 600 extra metres run in terms of penalty loops. And Sato's almost 7 minutes off the pace there. 6:45.9 behind Davier's time.
They got the seedings right. Davier went out last, Repchuk second last, Arentz third last. Davier, Repchuk, Arentz 1, 2, 3.
Zhang Kwon from the host nation, the Republic of Korea. And you're never going to challenge, I'm afraid, with 5 missed targets. It's a quarter of the shots missed in a 4-shoot race and 4 visits to the range, over 9 minutes away from Davier's winning time.
Yes, if you're shooting 75% and the winner's shooting 95%, there's a difference. That's Eric Ulseth of Norway.
Well, he didn't feature much at all. A difficult race for Niels Erik, who was actually the silver medalist in Sochi and won a gold in Vancouver, but I'm afraid it wasn't his day today. Sixth in the 7.5K race. So Niels Erik Ulseth at 34 years of age maybe sees his powers on the wane. A fabulous Winter Paralympic history in both biathlon and cross country, dating all the way back to Salt Lake City 2002. Just the 2 missed targets today, but not competitive.
Hoshizawa of Japan has only just left the range for the final time, so he's a few minutes away from finishing. With the result not in doubt, they may press ahead with the recognition ceremony fairly soon. Confirmation of the result then for the men's 12.5K biathlon. Benjamin Davier of France, from Ihor Repchuk of Ukraine, and Canada's Mark Arens. Field of 14 began the event. 11 nations. They've still got 2 to finish. Wu of China and Hoshizawa of Japan. Rumyantseva it was in the women's 10K. Katerina Rumyantseva, Paralympic athlete, and teammate Anna Milanina, and Ukraine's Ludmila Lyashenko. Rumyantseva by quite a margin in the end. She was impressive in all aspects of that race. Bauman, unfortunately, from Ukraine, was a DNF, a very experienced athlete, but didn't go her way today.
Coming up soon, our recognition announcement. Please stay with us as we'll honor our women and our men.
So,
these last 2
Ludmila
events.
Lyashenko, just looking back to the women's 10K from Ukraine. She was the bronze medalist. Milanina with the silver, and Rumyantseva won the gold medal in that race. Brilliant performance from Rumyantseva. She led from start to finish and was imperious on the shooting range. The new superstar, no question, in the world of women's Paralympic biathlon.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the medalist from the biathlon women's 10 kilometers standing.
So, on with the recognition ceremonies. Two neutral Paralympic athletes and a Ukrainian share the medals here. It's Ludmila Lyashenko, who won the bronze.
Bronze medalist, neutral Paralympic athlete.
In truth, they were fighting it out really for the silver because of the strength of Rumyantseva's performance.
Silver medalist, neutral Paralympic athlete.
Anna Milanina won the silver. She won that particular battle.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion, neutral Paralympic athlete. Paralympic champion,
More glory for Ekaterina Rumyantseva. Third gold medal of these 2018 Paralympic Winter Games in PyeongChang. Another fabulous performance.
As I said during the race, it just seems a natural fit for this event. So well does she ski, so calmly and accurately does she shoot. It's tough to shift from that spot.
And we look again at the final shake-up. The men's 12.5 kilometre for the standing Paralympic athletes was won by Benjamin Davier, ahead of Igor Repchuk and Marka Rens. So France 1, Ukraine 2, Canada 3. So it was an absolute thriller. Arendts just blinking on his final visit to the range. They all missed just the one shot actually, Arendts, Repchuk and Davier, but in the end it was the Frenchman, Benjamin Davier, who won gold in the 7.5 kilometre event. Doubles up in the biathlon events here in PyeongChang 2018. Missed just one shot. All told in this competition, Davier, good French support as well on the finish line to just bring him home. So that's 2/3 of the programme here at the Alpensia Biathlon Centre completed, and we're going to have the recognition announcements here for the race that has just recently concluded, the men's 12.5k, the race of Davier. There's the main man.
It's a thriller. Don't often get finishes as tight as that in interval starts, but we were given it by Mark Arendts, Igor Repchuk and Benjamin Davier today. And Mark Arendts keeps giving himself chances. Soon enough, that gold medal will come. And today it's a bronze in men's 12.5k, and he looks pretty chuffed. He didn't do a lot wrong. Igor Repchuk put an enormous amount of pressure on Benjamin Davier in the latter stages of the race. So Davier had to be at his coolest and best and most determined, which he was. He's now got 2 gold and a silver, so he's on target and maybe overachieving if he gets a 3rd gold somewhere along the line.
시간을 가져보겠습니다.
In the long distance events, how many loops do athletes make around the ski course? 3, 4, or 5?
장거리 경기에서는 선수들이 코스를 과연 몇 바퀴 돌아야 할까요? 손가락을 한번 모두 펼쳐보시죠.
And the answer is 5. Long distance events have our athletes going around long loops.
네, 장거리 경기에서는 선수들이 모두 코스를 5바퀴 돌아야 합니다.
자, 반갑습니다. 2018 평창 동계 패럴림픽 대회 연합분들 지금 저희 반다비와 연기자 박지민과 함께하고 계십니다. Welcome back to Pyeongchang. You are now with our mascot Bandabi and Korean actor Jin and Park. I can see you guys are having much fun out here. This place is just hot. I mean, it looks a little bit cold, but this place, if you get down here on stage, this place is just hot. 자, 여러분, 아직까지 동계 패럴림픽 대회가 진행되고 있지만은 여기는 정말 뜨겁습니다. 저 서울이 펼쳐져 있지만은 이 뜨거운 열기를 함께할 수 있는 관중 여러분들 좀 모셔볼 텐데 한번 여기 한번 볼까요? 자, 한번 좀 만나볼게요. Hello, can I bring you? So, where are you guys from and what brought you here?
We're from Germany.
Germany. Guten Tag. Am I doing right?
Yes. We had the opportunity to come to PyeongChang, and so we took it. So I personally, I like biathlon a lot, and that's why I'm here.
Okay, and Mr. Handsome Sir, where you from and what brought you here?
Yeah, we are from Germany altogether. We are colleagues, and we decided quite spontaneous yesterday to get here. So we organized the train right here. So everything went very good. So we are here.
Yesterday, you made up your mind to get to Biathlon Center.
Yeah, from Seoul. So here so yesterday.
From Seoul. Alright, 자 여러분, 바이애슬론 경기의 팬으로서 독일에서 서울에 계셨는데 바로 어제 결정을 해서 티켓을 사서 오늘 왔다고 합니다. 정말 대단한 바이애슬론 팬. 이게 바로 패럴림픽 아니겠습니다. This is Paralympic Games. 박수 한번 주세요. Big fan. The big fans all the way from Germany. So, to cheer up you guys, I know you spent a lot of money to get here from Seoul to PyeongChang. So I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to participate in a small event, and if you pick the right number, we're going to give you guys a present. Are you guys ready? Alright, okay, alright, let's go. 자, the game will be very easy, very simple. All you have to do is pick the right number. The title of the game is Pandabi. Where you at? You guys ready? You guys ready? Alright, 반다비, where are you at? 자, 이번에 이어질 게임은 바로 반다비를 찾아가면 되겠습니다. 자, 여러분들 함께 맞춰보시고요. 반다비 on screen. 자, okay, there's a 반다비. There's a 반다비. You can see it. Right in the middle. 자, 여러분 같이 한번 해보세요. 반다비가 움직입니다. Okay, 반다비. Oh! Wow! Come on, it's the visitors! OMG, I'm lost. 자, hold up. The fans are giving the hint at the ace and number 3. It's all up to you guys. We have number 2 and 3.
Number 3.
Number 3, and you, sir?
3 as well.
Number 3. Okay, I'm lost. 반다비, where are you at? 반다비, 1번. Yeah. Who said number 2 and 3? Who said that? Who said number 2 and 3? 누가 2번하고 3번이래? 이 사람은 진짜 다시 해. One more time. No, I cannot do this. I cannot make this happen. Let's try it one more time. You guys came all the way from Germany. 독일에서 왔잖아요. One more time. 한 번 더. One more time. Okay. 반다비, where are you at? Bring it on. Concentrate. 다 같이. Okay. There's 반다비. Okay, he's moving. He's moving nice and slow. Nice and smooth. I like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good attack. Stop moving. Jump. One, two, three. Three. Someone. Where's Pandabi? Pandabi, where are you at? Three. And I want you and you to give a shout out to the German competitors out here.
Ja, viel Glück bei der nächsten Veranstaltung und wir drücken allen die Daumen.
Genau, ihr macht es, gebt euer Bestes und wir schauen zu.
Okay, keep up the best. Thank you very much. Have a good time out here in PyeongChang. 감사합니다. 자, 우리 함께 한번 우리 고등학생들 가볼게요. 누가 할래요? 우리 고등학생. 자, 좋아요, 반가워요. 이게 준비 한번 해볼까? 자, 반가워요. 어디서 어떻게 오셨어요?
정선중학교에서 왔어요.
정선중학교. Okay, so they're from Cheongsan, where the alpine ski and also the snowboard Paralympic Games are going on right now. 자, 정선 출신. 이번 특히 이상호 선수가 정선 출신인데 스노보드 은메달 땄잖아요. 정선이 이제 동계 올림픽 패럴림픽의 중심지가 됐습니다. 기분이 어때요?
좋아요.
Okay, so I'm asking about, so we had a silver medal for the Olympic Games, and there are so many Paralympic Games going on right now. So I asked, how do you feel being focused for the Paralympic Games at your hometown? And they said, 좋아요. I like it. 오케이, 게임 준비됐어요? 준비됐죠? 가봅시다. 수나! 아니죠, 반다비! 반다비! 어디 있니? 자, 보면 거야. 감독 좀만 해보러. 오케이, 자, 반다비. 자, 반다비 저기 있다. 자, 가운데 2번, and number 2, all together. Find 반다비. 자, 반다비 같이 하고 있어. 잠깐만. 야, 잠깐만, 이게 아닌데. 자, 와우! 나 아니야, 이거 아닌 것 같아. 나. This is not go. I'm lost. 잠깐만. Time. 자, 이게. 자, 몇 번인 것 같아요? 1번 학생은 3번. We have a split answer. 자, 다른 답이 나왔습니다. 1번 아니면 3번. 반답이 where야? 정답은 2번. 와, 1번에서 다 틀렸어요. 기회 한 번 더 드릴까요? 한 번씩 더. One more time. 반답이 where야? Let's go. Just one last time. 자, 한 번 더 찾아보겠습니다. 반답이 where야? Bring it on. Let's go. 자, 마지막 기회입니다. 같이 봐요. 여러분 다 같이 맞춰봅시다. 가운데 있어요, 가운데. 자, the last chance. This is the last opportunity for you guys to win. 반답이. 자, 눈 뜨고. Open up your eyes. 자, 눈 뜨고. 정선. I love 정선. 와. 자, 박근혜 두 개. 하나, 둘, 셋. Number 2. 반답이 where you at? 재밌게 놀다 가세요. Okay, we're just having a good time out here. All I want to ask you guys is send those energies to the athletes on that field. 여러분들 지금 이 뜨거운 열기 선수들 한 명 한 명에게 전달해 주시기 바라겠습니다. 하실 수 있죠? You can do that. Okay, thank you so much. Enjoy the Paralympics and welcome to PyeongChang. with our cheerleading team. 여러분들의 응원이 이렇게 조금 더 더해줄 cheerleading 팀 모셔보도록 하겠습니다. 반대로 준비했어요? Ready? Alright!
마이크 아니네.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Alpecia Biathlon Center for these are two final races of the day. We are going to be starting with our women's 10K visually impaired event, followed right after by the men's 12.5K visually impaired.
여러분의 함성 소리가 저의 귓속으로 아직도 뛰어들고 있습니다. 이제는 보다는 귀와 마음으로 펼쳐지는 이야기가 시작됩니다. 여자 10km 시각장애 중거리와 남자 12.5km 시각장애 중거리 경기가 이제 잠시 후에 시작되겠습니다.
The group there really not knowing what nation they're taking for here today, but the important thing they are encouraging the International Paralympic Committee and many nations, and that's what it's all about: respect, friendship, and good sportsmanship.
종목은 D1부터 3까지의 스포츠 등급에 속한 선수가 참가하는데요. 전맹 또는 극히 일부의 시력을 유지하는 선수를 대상으로 합니다. 가장 큰 특징으로는 가이드를 동반할 수 있으며 가이드가 말하는 소리를 듣고 따라갈 수 있도록 광폭 스피커를 사용할 수 있습니다. 대한민국의 최국희 선수는 남자 종목에서 출전을 예상하고 있습니다.
Alors un groupe qui a eu de fortes émotions il y a quelques instants, nos amis de la France, avec la victoire de Davien. Our fans from the Republic of Korea.
여러분 바람이 많이 불고 있습니다. 따뜻하게 체온을 유지하시면서 태극기도 이렇게 바치게 펼치시면서 오늘 경기 끝까지 감상해 주시길 부탁을 드리겠습니다.
It's a glorious day at the Alpensia Biathlon Centre at the 2018 Paralympic Winter Games, and we are ready for more racing. A very good afternoon to you from the mountains of PyeongChang, where we're all set for the final 2 races on the programme on the second day of action in the biathlon competitions at these Paralympics, the middle distance races for visually impaired athletes. It's been a breezy day, which has made life a little interesting down on the shooting range. We have the women's 10-kilometre race for visually impaired athletes up first, and you are looking there at the red-hot favourite. This is Mikalina Lisova, neutral Paralympic athlete, the defending Paralympic champion and the 6-kilometre champion in these games. So she will be the front runner, and she is the athlete to beat. 12 degrees out there. Wow, it is sunny, it is delightful, but as you can see from the movement of the flags here, it is windy as well.
And that really adds a difficult factor at the shooting range, as the rifles do tend to get buffeted about as they try and settle over the target. For the visually impaired field for the women, here we have it. Moshevskaya and Galitzina, beg your pardon, for neutral Paralympic athletes. Prelutska and Klug from Ukraine and Germany. Shishkova is a great rival of Lisova, but only if these other athletes are absolutely on top of their game, and Lisova is not quite there, can she be beaten, really. She has, in the last few years, paused to begin a family, so she's missed a couple of big events like World Championships last year, but the evidence is that Lisova, with a gold in the 6K already, will do some damage today. Not with those though, because the audio guided rifles in the visually impaired. Sky just warming up earlier, and her guide is Artem Norin. Sina being helped out by Maxim Pirogov. Martin Hartel is the guide for Luke. 5, Shishkova. Vitaly Kazakov is her guide, and Vitalina Lisova, the favourite guide, is Alexei Ivanov. Nice to see him being acknowledged formally before the start, as we're just doing. We should just be seconds away from our first athletes leaving the start gates. It will be Katerina Moshevskaya. Sun on the face, wind in the hair, and away we go. So it is the women's 10K visually impaired, and it's 5 laps and 4 stops at the range. And she was 6th place at the 10K World Championships last year. Here a 7th in the 15K. It was cross country. Marina Galatsina with Maxim Pirogov as the guide. 5th in the women's 6K biathlon. Graduate from the Tchaikovsky State Institute in the Russian Federation. Go to sleep with a dream, wake up with a goal, she says. Worthy idea. Ola Prelutska Now, she won the World Championships last year in 33 minutes and 11 seconds without Lisova being around to contend with. But she's got the ability. Sochi, she was a ninth in the 5K freestyle. Fourth in the 10K by athletes. Clara Klug, 23 years of age. Sixth in the 6K here. And Martin Hartel leads her away. And a few German fans here to give a big cheer as she sets off on the 10K journey. If you can say in biathlon, though, it's usually about how the shooting goes. Shishkova, second at the World Championships in this event last year, Oksana Shishkova of Ukraine. 3 third placings in Sochi in biathlon, in 6K, 10K and 12.5K.
Another chance in the middle here for Ukraine.
Neutral Paralympic athlete, though, Mikhalina Lisova. 5 gold, 5 silver, 3 bronze medals in Paralympic Winter Games competition. And somewhere near back to her best. A bronze in the 15K cross country and gold medalist in the women's 6K. And make no mistake, Lisova is the one to beat.
Yeah, it's just going to be a monumental shock if you see anything other than Lisova standing on the top spot of the podium in the final shake-up here. You just mentioned it. Prelutska was the world champion, but crucially, Lisova wasn't there in Finsterau in Germany last year. Moshevskaya was 8th in the 6-kilometre event already at these 2018 Paralympic Winter Games, and she missed 4 shots all told. But our leading athletes tend not to miss. Indeed, Lisova won the 6K with 2 clean sweeps at the shooting range. Moshevskaya went out first, her first Winter Paralympic experience, and there we see Prelutska, guided by Boris Babar, who was 4th in that 6K event, and Garrett Sina moving into position. She was 5th in the 6K, missed 3 shots all told in her first Paralympic Winter Games also.
Prelutska certainly lists the gold medal she won at the World Championships last year as her most memorable moment in the sport. She could eclipse that if she were to upset the tipsters today and defeat Lisova.
So just to give you a kind of guide, this event was won in just a shade over 30 minutes 4 years ago in Sochi at those Paralympic Winter Games, won by Lisova. But it's a heaving mantelpiece for Mikhalina Lisova. Shishkova going well in the early stages. You have to hope, I suppose, if you're one of Lisova's competitors, if you're one of the challengers, that she has a bad day down at the range, really, because she has the speed and she has the technique when racing.
She's quite slightly built, but she's a powerful skier, so 4 seconds quicker through that first checkpoint, quicker than Shishkova. She's lean, efficient skier, and where she wins it really is at the range. She misses so rarely, but we throw in today's wind and maybe that will be a leveler.
So that's Moshevskaya, guided by Artsen Norin, coming round.
If you've not seen a visually impaired biathlon before and wondering what happens when it comes to range, well, you're about to find out. We're lucky enough to hear the range of audio sound that guides the athlete when they are pointing the rifle at the target. The frequency will get higher, and when the frequency reaches its highest point, that's when they pull the trigger, and that's when they will register a hit.
Boris Babar helping Olia Plutska round that bend. Just 3 nations represented in amongst the start list of 6 competitors here, neutral Paralympic athletes. The 2 Ukrainians, Prylutska and Shishkova, and Clara Krug of Germany.
It's just the direction that stop is held by the following skier. The athlete can't be towed along. Should be pushing on it rather than being pulled along by it. And when they're going around the quick bends, it's the safest way to negotiate. So here we go into the range. The headphones will go on. The frequency will be heard, and it sounds a little like an annoying mosquito, but they actually have to give it their absolute full attention to tell the shift in frequency. Hopefully we'll hear it. Sky just struggling a little to find it early.
Prylutska's stolen a march on her here and is shooting well. 4 from 4. It is here, so unable to clean that first visit to the range, and a miss straight away from Moshkovskaya. Shooting is what hindered her in the 6K event, so it's proving again here.
It's a disastrous opening shoot really for Moshkovskaya. When just an example of how it works, she's struggling with it. Shishkova, meanwhile, has shot 5 out of 5. Well, that's tough. That's 5 penalty loops.
Lisova into the range, and 5 from 5. She never looks like missing, does she? Away with a clean first visit to the shooting range here.
And Klug looking to replicate the shooting of Lisova, and does.
So she's going to be away and hoping to breathe down the neck of Michalina Lisova. Clara Klug, guided by Martin Hartl. Klug from Germany. Good, strong start, an honest start, we might say. She was at the Finsterau World Champs last year. Clara Klug, a pair of silver medals in the 12.5 kilometre, the 6K. She actually got the bronze in this event, the 10K for visually impaired athletes.
Clean shoots then for 3 of the athletes, Klug, Shishkova and Lisova. And unsurprisingly, they're the last 3 to go out, the highest seeded athletes in this one. Unfortunately for Moshkovskaya, another 750 metres of skiing she's saddled up for. A little bit of gear to negotiate in the transition area, and the more efficiently they do it, rather like a triathlon, the seconds you save, and she's trained for a great deal.
Shishkova and Galitsina there, they're almost parallel, and the guides having to race each other as well at times, but Lisova, she wears the whole situation so lightly, doesn't she? She's a front runner, she's the favourite, but she never seems to kind of allow the pressure to get to her. She always seems so smooth and relaxed.
Almost floats across the snow as well. Very light, elegant, efficient style that she has, and it's served her well over the years.
Accomplished as well in the cross-country events as well. 2 gold medals in the Paralympic cross-country events in Vancouver and Sochi. 5 World Championship gold medals, 3 silvers, 2 bronzes. It's just a sort of a raft of success. A whole wave of medals have come her way in both Worlds and the Paralympic Winter Games.
That's a great collection.
League of Nations in the stands here.
We saw also the 3 agitos there from the Paralympic flag. That's lovely to see as well. Games conducted under the auspices of the International Paralympic Committee. And they're doing a great job attracting more athletes, games by games, with World Championships in so many sports also across the years in between summer and winter Paralympic Games. Sports profile, it's all the time, great athletes we're watching.
So Shishkova comes through the checkpoint in the leading position at present, but not far behind Lisova, and expect her number to go green. Go green by a sizable margin, the defending Olympic champion, guided by Alexei Ivanov.
It's only
6'4", well that's slightly more slender than we may have anticipated, but still she's in the lead.
In the higher sections of the course, the wind is a little bit stronger. It's just something for visually impaired athletes to deal with and cope with. The guide's got to take them across to the part of the course that represents the least amount of risk. They're all negotiating their way around well enough.
So the Ukrainian technical officials have 2 of their number out there in Olya Prelutska and Oksana Shishkova. And it's Clara Klug wearing bib 104. Valentin Hartl in front of it. Communication is very, very important between the 2. Goes without saying, really. Klug 2 4th places in the cross-country at the World Championships in 2015 and 2017. Those 2 silver medals in the Worlds in Finsterau last year, the 12.5 and the 6K.
Another 5 minutes or so. We'll have to start at the men's 12.5K visually impaired, so there'll be another 15 pairs out on the course with 10 competitors and their guides. Running simultaneously, this staggered start obviously, but we'll have a lot of skiers out there shortly.
It's Boris Babar who just turns to instruct Olya Prelutska.
Hydration to the athletes.
That one didn't quite work. That's disappointing when an attempt to hand the refreshments over doesn't come off, especially if the athlete really wants it. This is one of the middle distance events for the women. But it's a hot day by comparison to what they would train in the depths of winter. I've seen it 2.5 minutes down on Lisova.
So she reaches just over quarter race distance at 2.7 kilometres. And we still have Nikolina Lisova in the lead, but not by much. So again, it comes down to these shoots and prowess with the rifle.
1 miss each for Galatsina and Prelutska, and it's taken them off the pace really. And Klug shot cleanly. She's in 3rd, she's 35 seconds down on Lisova. Shishkova, the last checkpoint, 6.4 behind Lisova. And they have a chance here. Shishkova's got to continue to shoot clean. Hope that Lissova feels some pressure.
So you're looking at Ola Prilotska here from Ukraine, 4th in 2014, but the world champion. She came out on top, the best of the rest, if you will, with Lissova not on the start line in Finsteral last year. Into the range again with one miss from that first visit. Shishkova 2.
Miss for Prilotska. Prilotska has got a bit of extra work to do, and that might be enough to push her out of medal contention. Just looking at her Paralympic history, a 9th in Sochi in the freestyle cross country, and biathlon 4th, so she just missed a medal there, and here she's had a 4th and a 6th.
Lissova, just no mistakes made again. Just too good, really. So 10 from 10. Nikolina Lissova still in control of the latest Winter Paralympic Challenge. And that's the 10 kilometers here in PyeongChang.
The great athletes give it this ease of, apparent ease of execution. They make it look easy. They look like they've got more time and require less effort. But that is the product of efficient training and lots of it. These athletes in their 20s, Sky 21 up to the 28-year-old Galaxina, and various numbers in between. It's only a modest sized field of 6 athletes and guides. And the ambition of the IPC to lure more visually impaired potential athletes to the sport.
Klug, so far, so good with a rifle. Very, very strong in the shooting part of this competition. That bodes well for Clara Klug. It's just 3 misses. That's a real surprise from the world champion. Maybe feeling the heat here. Elizabeth back in the field. Clara Klug looking good, and Shishkova has gone clean as well for Ukraine. Shishkova, the athlete who has a clean sweep of bronzes in all 3 visually impaired events back in Sochi. She wants the upgrade, of course she does. She got a silver in the 6K here.
What's particularly clever about that technology, we'll come back to that thought, as the men's 12.5K visually impaired is about to start. They'll overlap the women's event.
Yeah, this the equivalent middle distance race for the visually impaired men here at PyeongChang 2018. So their race is over 12.5 kilometers, and we're going to get away with the Kairat Kanafin. So an outsider, really, the Kairat, but he was there in Sochi, 17th in the 7.5 kilometers. The top 15 athlete in the world champs. He wears beard 11, guided by Anton Zdanovic. So as is the way in terms of these seedings, these are the slightly weaker athletes, really. The stronger and more fancied biathletes will go later in the order. 7 nations represented on the start line. 15 athletes will go. Choi Bokwe is out of the gate for the host nation, and listen to the cheers, listen to the great support for the athlete who was present 4 years ago, competed in cross country. Next to go, wearing bib 113 for Poland, guided by Jakub Twardowski, is Piotr Garbowski. B3 classification. He placed 5th in the Para Biathlon pursuit at the 27 World Cup event in Canmore in Canada. And he's been 9th over 15 kilometres in the World Champs at Finsterau last year. He's 11th in this event, the 12.5K. So from Ukraine, bib 114, Alexander Makotkin, guided by Denis Nikulin. And he's a relative latecomer to the para biathlon scene. Made his major championship debut last year in both cross country and biathlon at Finsterau at the World Champs in terms of the biathlon. 10th in this event, 12th in the 7.5K. Being released from the starting gate thick and fast now. Thomas Dubois comes next, guided by Bastien Sauvage. And Thomas Dubois, highly rated, a lot of potential. He's in his first Paralympic Winter Games. For the World Cup event as recently as January in Oberride in Germany. Now Yuri Holub comes next, bib 116 for Belarus. A more than accomplished cross-country skier. Bronze medal last year in Finsterau in the 10-kilometre freestyle. There's been a 4th and a 5th as well. His best in the biathlon events in the World Champs, and 8th in the 7.5K in Finsterau last year. 117 from Germany, Nico Messinger. His guide is Lutz Klausmann. So Nico's been competing at the World Champs since 2013. Not got higher than 9th, unfortunately, but he's been just off the podium in the mixed relay in cross country, 4th in Finsterau. And looks up to Johannes Husfeld-Clabo, and that's a decent role model to have.
The women's race, they did at the second shoot have clear shoots for Klug, Shishkova and Lisova. 105 Shishkova and guide Vitaly Kasakov. He's just starting to soften up in these unexpectedly warm conditions today, and the snow is soft, and that's the area where there are tracks and ruts and uneven sections of snow that they could lose some balance for a moment. We saw the trees in the background, they're really moving quite vigorously, so the breeze has picked up a little bit, I think, in the last half an hour. The flags around the shooting range, very busy indeed. The Ukraine team quite anxious about the performance of Shishkova. Big chance not only to medal, but maybe put some pressure on Lisova. So Shishkova shot clean the first 2 times. Has to keep this going with a chance of tipping Lisova from top spot. Those 4th and 5th targets took a bit of finding, but Shishkova has done it as Lisova settles into her work. And she is pretty cool. She's missed one. Lisova has missed. Now Shishkova, well, she won't know that straight away. She'll just set out on the course with 15 from 15. 1 shoot to come for Shishkova, and she is a chance.
She really has. That's blown this race wide open. Well, that's a collector's item, I'm afraid, and this at the range from Nikolina Lisova. It's her first miss in the biathlon competitions, full stop, here at PyeongChang 2018. Wow. So this is interesting. We've got a real event on now. We're looking at Olya Prilutska She's a little down, thanks to her 3 misses so far. 1 scratch.
Carrying a little bit of a left knee injury as well, with some support there. Anyway, let's go making her way into the range. 2 athletes from Ukraine, 1 German athlete and 3 neutral Paralympic athletes in this race. Ooh, that was a heavy landing. I think she fell on top of the headphones and might feel good, but she continues to get ready, and the wind is fairly whistling across the range. This is difficult. All the shooting in the vision impaired events is done in the prone position. See, in the Olympics with the standing on a windswept day, it is even more difficult as the athlete themselves is being pushed around by the breeze.
She's missed again. Just the 1 miss, but it adds up to 4. So all told, that's an extra 600 metres on the penalty circuit already, still with 1 visit to the range to come. So you're looking at Prylutska, they're going to steer off to the left as we look at it. They're right into the penalty loop circuit, 150 extra metres, and that drags you down. Now then, Clara Klug.
Yeah, just looking at the board, Shishkova with a 37-second lead over Lisova. Klug, clean shoot up to now. She makes her way in. So it's 1 miss from Lisova. Really changed the complexion of the race. Just as likely to swing back the other way at the final shoot though, so don't ride off Lisova. Do so at your peril.
So Clara Klug, perfect with the gun so far. Now then, she'll get into that prone position and line up again.
So Klug at 23 years of age, making her first appearance at the Paralympic Winter Games, and 6th in the 6K. It's possible. Snag a medal here. Taking a few extra seconds to get set. All valuable too.
Because we've got the men's race happening concurrently, we're seeing some of the men's in the 12.5 kilometre down in the range as well. As our camera zooms in, and the competitor we're focusing on right now, that is Clara Klug. First shot's a good one. So that's 2 athletes now out shooting Mykolina Lisova. This is a very, very interesting race in the women's 10K for visually impaired athletes here.
She's got a lot of pressure required on the trigger. She's just worked that out nicely. Look, this could be a great result for her and for Germany. Lisova. And once Klug comes out of the range here, she should be ahead of Prylutska. Will be.
Yeah, that's partly down to those 4 misses all in from Ola Prylutska, the world champion. So Clara Klug going really well here for Team Germany.
Despite as we are coming close to the 7-kilometer mark, and there will be 13K to go. Don't forget we have our next event coming up. It will be our men's at 12.5. Visually impaired, they have already started, and we'll be joining them as this race.
The transition she can do some work on, just didn't quite find the rifle as quickly as she might have, and with the guide as well. But Lisova, 1:07 down on Shishkova. So this lead is growing. This is a potential upset here.
It really is. Mikalina Lisova and her guy Alexei Ivanov, well, when they race, when they compete, they tend to have it all their own way, that particular couple. So look at this, standings at the end of shoot 3, and Lisova off the gold medal spot. It's Oksana Shishkova from Ukraine who is leading, and at present Kara Klug is holding out and holding off Ola Prilutska, who is currently in 4th place.
3/3 in Sochi in biathlon for Shishkova. She's got 2 second placings here in PyeongChang. She's been knocking on the door for a long time, waiting for it to open, and mostly it's been Lisova who's been slamming it in her face. Will her day come, and will it be today?
So there's Prilutska way down, I'm afraid. This is not going to be a repeat of the heroics that we saw in Finsterau last year at the World Champs. It's some shooting that has dragged her back. She finished 4th in the 6K, a clean first visit to the range in that event, and then I'm afraid she missed 3 targets second time around. So has just been unable to find that level of consistency that you absolutely need. This is Oksana Shishkova doing bib 105, guided by Vitaly Kazakov for Ukraine. But they all have to come in and shoot at 5 more targets. So Shishkova is about to do exactly that. Now then, what's she got? Can she hold it together? Or is she going to just open that door again for Lisova? We shall see. This is a big visit to the range.
And how much does she know about Lisova's situation? As the guide, you tell her, look, hey, you could win this, or do you just, you know, it's all about the process. Let the result take care of itself, they always say. Shishkova.
And 3. And 4. And 5. Clean shooting from Oksana Shishkova. We could be witnessing a real upset here. Really well played. And she's away. She's done with the shooting. She just has to keep it steady now. And I suppose Vitaly Kazakov, the guy, just has to calm her a bit and, you know, remind her to just keep it real, as it were. Don't do anything silly. And boy, she can put Mikalina Lisova off the gold medal position.
And you can tell that Ukraine biathlon program has thrown some serious resources at their athletes in the last couple of years, because the results are coming in a rush here in PyeongChang, and they might be about to add to it with Shishkova. Can she beat the hot favourite Mikalina Lisova, who's coming in now well behind, maybe not finding these conditions to her liking. It's only been 1 miss, but she's behind by more than that now. It seems that the skiing of Shishkova is also a factor today. So Lisova. Hear how hard she's breathing after the workout on the snow.
It may already be too late, but it will be if she can't straight this. Back to her best, but that 1 miss in the 3rd shoot is going to be the difference here, and it's going to drop Lisova off the podium. I think she knows it.
At the point before, what is so clever about the adaptation of these audio focused rifles is that it still requires the athletes to pause and as they seek the target, as the sighted biathletes do. It's the same skill really, and the same physical requirement of stilling the breathing and slowing down the heartbeat
there.
It's a really clever adaptation.
Few seconds.
Paralympics down into position. Shishkova's lead is 1:20 as they left the range, so surely Shishkova is going to do the job.
And Prelutska with a bad day at the office, whatever happens here really, with those 4 penalties, 4 missed targets, and 4 loops, 4 extra lots of 150 metres to ski on top of race distance. Back to her best there, so that's the only clean visit to the range. It's come just in the nick of time, and she'll skate away, she'll scoot away, but Ola Prelutska playing catch up here to the changing of the guard. Oksana Shishkova looking really, really good, and has this race in the palm of her hand.
And finally, I mean, Shishkova keeps finding different people to lose to, or to come second to, more correctly, because at the World Championships it was Prelutska who took the gold. In Sochi, it was, of course, Lisova. But now, maybe Shishkova's moment. Suffering there. Out on the course. Its toll.
And there's a, so we'll find out soon if
and
she's
4 is Kara Klug.
One of only 2 athletes to go clean, Tara Klug, but at times a little down, I'm afraid. And, coming into the range for the last time, guided there by Martina Hartler. A lot of communication we can see there between guide and athlete here.
And the German support team looking for a good result for Clara. She's battling with the softening snow a bit, owing to loss of balance or 2.
The World Championship bronze medalist, Clara Klug, in the 6th in the 6-kilometre event, the shorter distance event for the visually impaired athletes here at the Paralympic Winter Games. Around they go, and then there's a right-hand turn through the underpass, and then it's into the shooting range.
Gets the poles out of the way. Shishkova, not 20 ahead of Lisova. Look down into position for the final time in this race.
We've got Galitsina to come in, and Moshkovskaya, who is our back marker here. Klug has been perfect so far. There's a miss. First time she's blinked here. So Shishkova, here she comes up to the line. This is a real changing of the guard in the women's visually impaired biathlon events at the major championships, the world champs and the Olympics. Shishkova comes over the line first after an imperious performance. It's not often Mikalina Litova gets put in the shade. but Shishkova has done that here. Crucially, she was brilliant in the shooting range. She didn't miss a shot all day.
And she knew when she came across the line, she was aware of the race situation. I think that that triumphant punch of the air indicates that Shishkova was aware that Lisova was not having her best day and that Shishkova was. And that's what it was going to take to dethrone the queen of this sport, Elena Lisova, and for Shishkova to finally gather a gold at the Paralympic Winter Games. And that is one triumphant smile.
Yeah, so Clara Klug there with that one crucial miss at the range, has to do that penalty loop. We've just seen her come out of the penalty loop circuit, so another lap for her. The big battle here is for the bronze medal position. Michalina Lisova, well, it's going to be a top 2 finish for Lisova. She would love to have kept the winning run going. It's not happening though. Clara Klug there. Again, that's communication.
And even more important, once the second race gets out on the course and the traffic increases, when the guides have to be extra careful and extra clever, find a way around the course that poses no danger to their athletes. But now coming down towards the finish, Galatsina, this long sweeping right hand bend into the home straight. Shishkova finishing in 35 minutes. That was through the 9-kilometre checkpoint. Look up on the big scoreboard here. Shishkova's finishing time 37:58. So that was just 2 minutes behind.
So this is Lisova coming in, nowhere near the time of Shishkova. It's by her standards, I suppose, a disappointing outcome. It's still going to be a medal, but Lisova is not going to get the gold.
I'm sure she'll accept it gracefully. She knows she's had a great rival in Shishkova for a long time. Today, Shishkova's turn to step up. Let's get coming down.
So Shishkova really throwing down a good time. And look at the finishing numbers of those who come in behind her. And Prelutska, the world champion, gave it her everything and tumbles over the line. Goodness me. Now it's an opportunity to get the breath back and just reset, retune and return to normal life, because while you're racing out there, it's a whole different mindset. Prelutska comes over the line and we'll hope she's done enough to get a medal.
Prelutska 42 minutes 15, 40 minutes 12 for Lisova, 37:58 for our surely winner Shishkova. Still got Galatsina and Klug out there. Moshkovskaya has withdrawn. She missed 5 at the first stop and 4 at the second.
So Galatsina still at the range. Remember the winning time already, 37:58.9. And Galatsina's got to come out and ski the last lap of the race here. So she's going to finish way down. Prelutska's time 42.158. Well, she hasn't got a penalty loop there. to endure, so we'll try and hunt down Prelutska's time.
And Klug still out on the course. And this is a chase for the bronze for the German.
Prelutska or Klug. That is Clara Klug. A lot more dialogue between Clara Klug and Martin Hartl than we see with the other athletes and their guides out there.
Look back to the start of our race.
Zana Shishkova there, the queen of this event in PyeongChang 2018.
I wonder what she tells herself before races. She knows she's up against Elizabeth. Just be patient, ski your race, get those targets. Maybe it'll work out today. Well, it has for Oksana Shishkova. Back of perfect shooting. Maybe there's a message in there. A little bit more practice on the range has brought some reward. Well, the ultimate reward in this race is going to be a gold medal for Shishkova.
Progression as well. The remarked on it before, those 3 bronzes in Sochi. Up she goes to silver in the 6K here, and then keeps on walking up the podium. So, back to the men's race. This is the men's 12.5 for visually impaired athletes. We'll update you on the finish of the women's and the race for the bronze medal in that. Will it be Prelutska? We will see. But we're watching the man wearing bib 116 there, Yuri Holub of Belarus, guided by Dmitry Udzilevich. And this is shaping up to be a decent finish here. 4 penalties though, 4 missed targets though for Holub.
He's a silver medalist in 2 races already, in cross-country the 20K and in biathlon the 7.5. So he's had a very good games. As Holub. His guy, Dmitry Udzilevich.
Yeah, missed just the 1 shot in the 7.5K, but not able to get his sights in today. Holub. So still issues to be decided in the women's race, namely the race for the bronze medal. So Clara Klug, steered by Martin Hartl. Down they come. That time of 42.15, and she's going to do it. It's good enough here to come in for a bronze medal. It's going to require every ounce of energy, but the finish line is just a few moments away now.
Well, she's making heavy weather of it. It must feel like treacle under her skis at the moment. So 42.15 to beat. He's coming up to 42 minutes. Looks like, come on, keep going, keep going. The guide is shouting her across the line. You're nearly there, and you are into 3rd position. So it looked like she stopped prematurely. Maybe she had nothing left to give or wasn't sure where the line was, but I think it's going to end up okay for Clara Klug. Thank goodness for that.
A huge sigh of relief there. That was agony. And yeah, she's got nothing more to give. But Martin Hartl would have been aware of the requirements, and that time of 42.15.8 beaten. So Prelutska pushed off the podium. So we return to the men's event, the 12.5. Kinenko.
That is very strong. Ukraine, the team that's come to contest biathlon events here.
They're on the 3rd of the 4 visits to the range so far. We've seen Kaziko clear. He's just missed one actually, so Holub, our provisional leader, but having missed 4 targets, And, well, no one's gone clear, actually. So this is a really open affair. Kazik, 23.48.7, has missed one target. So he's come from nowhere. The young Ukrainian, well, following the lead of Taras Rad in the earlier events for the visually impaired Ukrainian men. So Bib 125. Yuri Utkin, another Ukrainian, going really well here.
Through the underpass, this guide is Ruslan Perakoda. Utkin, B2 athlete and visually impaired. That's in the middle sport class of the three. And Utkin missed 2 on the first visit, shot clean on the second. He was last through the start gate. He's certainly considered to be highly seeded. And he comes in now to start his third shoot. Kovalevsky has missed a heap of targets, 3 and 3 at the first 2, so he's out of it. And they are struggling with this wind, the men.
Rare clean shoot there for Utkin. He's lifted himself well into contention. Well played. Again, it's the Ukrainians. The board is full of blue and yellow.
Kazik, Olub, Utkinenko, Ushutinsky, and now this man Utkin into second position maybe, or just third. Let's see what the Frenchman Chalinson can produce. He's missed just one target, but he's only completed 2 of the 4 shoots. I'll tell you what, you can probably expect to win this, but maybe 2 or even 3 misses. We should see, but as you pointed out, the wind is picking up. It really is here, down on the range for the Alpensia Biathlon Centre. And there's 7 athletes from Ukraine in this 15-man field, so they ought to be picking up their share of medals in this one. A very strong representation, and that is a lot of athletes to look after for the Ukraine support team. And you're out on the course trying to make sure everyone has the gear they need and the refreshments they require, and if someone loses or breaks a stock, have you got enough staff out there? And you've got 7 athletes.
Kazik from Holub, and then Yuri Utkin. So Ukraine 1, Ukraine 3, Ukraine 4, Ukraine 5, Yuri Holub splitting up that Ukrainian podium at the moment. And your boy, Shatcho boy, in 6th position. Sriarko and Makopkin 7 and 8 after the 3rd visit to the shooting range.
Kazik's got quite a lead. It's 48 seconds at the 7.63 kilometre mark.
Oh, it would have been even better had he not missed one. It's the 3rd visit to the shooting range, so that was Alexander Kazik, yeah, Bib 118, guided by Sergei Kucheravi.
So we look down the penalties incurred by the athletes today, and there's only one. One target missed, and that's Kazik.
So just a reminder then that we're still in the closing stages of the women's race.
Sina coming across the line, and that should finish it off, because Moshkovskaya, as it did not finish, she missed 9 of her first 10 targets, Moshkovskaya, and that was enough to end her race. That's another kilometre and then some. She would have had to ski, so she's just put a line through it. Sina crossing 47.37.
So those 10 minutes off the pace. We had an upset in the women's 10K for visually impaired athletes. That is to say, Lisova didn't win. She finished 2nd. So we'll see the recognition announcements in the not too distant future. In the meantime, the racing continues thick and fast against 12.5 kilometres. And Holub has just moved up into the lead. in second place to third. Yeah, through the checkpoint then was Kazik with just that solitary target missed in 3 visits to the shooting range, and he is looking good here for Ukraine.
See how packed it can be. We've got 2 skiers and 2 guides in a small area. Everything going along okay. Resetinsky of Ukraine coming through. And grab the stock for a little bit of guidance in the downhill section. And he's let it go now. Just readjusting his own equipment.
And we go back to Kazik Urkit, and it's really between Urkit now and Lukashenko.
Elizovic, the guide for the Belarusian. Can't miss those uniforms. It's a really stunning green that they've gone for. Great technique. He's got a couple of silver medals already. Can he add to it today? Second position at the moment through the 8.83 kilometre checkpoint, but 33 seconds down on Kazik. Nikotkin of Ukraine, 1:14. Utkin 1:24 down on Kazik. Utkin is 1:25. And bid 1:20 is Dmytro Swako of Ukraine. Ukraine athletes comprising almost half the field.
Well, the only man to have completed his shooting here is Yuri Halub. And 5 penalty loops in total, 1, 2, 1 and 1 for Halub. So he's concentrating on getting to the finish line now in as quick a time as possible. So Alexander Kazik and Sergei Kusheravi come in the immediate aftermath.
I mean, 5 sounds a lot, but Dubois for France, he's racked up 9 in 3 stops. So, you know, this is tough with the wind as it is. And 6 targets missed by Kovalevsky, although his 3rd visit he missed none. So 3 and 3 on the first 2. It really is providing a challenge today. 1-8 there is Kazik.
21 years of age, Alexander Kazik. Just came to prominence for the first time really at the Finsterau World Champs last year in both cross-country and biathlon. Alexander Kazik going really well here. 0 and 0 in his first 2 shoots, and then the 1 penalty loop incurred by his missed target in the 3rd visit. And looking to just get back and put another 0 on the board when he comes into the range for the last time.
All these missed targets, what it's done is really stretch the field out. They're all over the place and create a lot of room on the course, and it's really difficult to be sure who is where. That's what these tiny checkpoints are called. Just don't miss. It's the message. As I said and done.
It is when the wind's like it is today. As much as we've been bigging up the temperature and the conditions overall, it's getting more and more difficult for the shooters out there. Lukyanenko is also down in the range. But we're going to concentrate here on Alexander Kazik. Just the 1 miss so far here for the young Ukrainian.
Lukyanenko's got it done quickly too.
Another miss. Kazik's blinked. He's going to have to complete the penalty loop. Oh, just the 1. So 2 missed targets all in. He's now done and dusted with his shooting, but he's going to have to add another 150 metres to his race distance. Other than that, it was a quite outstanding set of visits to the shooting range. But has he given himself too much to do with that penalty loop?
Vitaly Lukyanenko has come through 35 seconds behind Halub.
Just those 2 misses so far from his first visit. He's straighted the last 2. That's efficient work from
Yuri Utkin of Ukraine.
into team battle between the Ukrainian athletes here. So Kazik, those 2 misses.
You could have a 1-2-3 Ukraine here. I probably should be surprised with 7 athletes in a 15-man field.
1-2-5 is Yutkin, and first to finish will be that's Yuri Holub with 1-1-6, so guided up to the line by Dmitry Vazilovich. So 5 penalties, but he's going to come in first here. Terrific strength, great stamina, and great endurance from Holub.
It makes it a longer and slower race with all these penalties missed, and nearly 40 minutes from 39.23 for Holub. Sinks to the snow. He didn't want to race that long. But to get miss enough targets, Holub, for the moment, is our leader in the men's 12.5 K.
And we have a marker. That's the time. 39.23.7 to look at. 2 misses for Anthony Chalençon of France. He gets down to shoot again for the last time. 5 more targets. He's in there with his compatriot Thomas Dubois in this race, but I'm afraid Thomas has missed 9. Chalençon, a bronze medalist last year at the World Champs. Finished outside the medals, 5th in this event. He's gone and missed his first shot on the last visit to the range here. An extra 150 metres, really painful. Good recovery, but he's going to have to head into the penalty circuit.
Kovalevsky now, he's missed 6 at the first 2 stops. Shot clean on the 3rd. And then you start to wonder what might have been if he's gone through the 3rd and 4th visits to the range and not missed.
Completely, and he's going to have to ski a hell of a last circuit here to get in amongst the medals. Kovalevsky, guided by Alexander Mukshin. So it's all shaping up here. Remember, that marker is 39.23.7, set by our first finisher, Holub.
Dubois, Messinger and Canifin have completed their 4th and final shoots.
Kazik from Holub, and then Lukyanenko. That's our 1-2-3 at the end of the 4th and last visit to the shooting range here in the men's 12.5 kilometre for visually impaired athletes.
Just a second between Lukyanenko and Utkin. That's a great race. So the battle for the minor medals could be what holds our attention.
Dubois, an absolute nightmare, I'm afraid, at the range. And that's dropped him to over 9.5 seconds off the leading pace.
So to come in and make his final shoot. So he's well off the pace. Also gets the biggest time factor adjustment, 88%, 3-1. That's the lead. Holub and Lukyanenko. Utkin is only 4/10 of a second out of a medal in 4th position. So we're going to get some athletes coming across the line shortly. Lukyanenko will challenge Holub. No, he can't. He's outside it already. No top spot for Lukyanenko, but he comes across the line in 19.8 seconds.
Couldn't do it at the last. Lukyanenko, 3 missed targets all in from his shooting. So, bib 120 then. Dmitry Siarko, he's missed 3 as well. And Kopkin as well, 6 missed targets, so he is way down. And Siarko at 41.54, he's not going to trouble the podium, I'm afraid. Still Holub at 39.23.7.
And a couple of guys have had a really tough day. Kanafin and Garbowski, 11 targets missed. That's 1,600 metres extra to ski.
.115, Dubois, and 125. This is Yuri Utkin, just the 2 targets missed. Utkin at 40, yeah, he's over the 42nd marker. He might get in ahead of Lukyanenko's 40.198. Not quite. He's going to try and dive over the line. Oh, 41.9.4.
Oh, he's done it by 0.4. That is a really brave last few metres. Just threw his foot at the line, and it mattered. 118 coming in is Kazik. There's a whole lot of skiers coming in and one-man line in the way. Oh, this is dangerous. I don't like seeing this. He's got to get him out of the way. Utkin is in the line of fire. This is up to the guides now to steer him away from the athlete who... Yeah, that's okay so far. It's heart-in-the-mouth stuff as they come across the line.
Wow, you've got enough to concentrate on coming down the final straight without an obstacle quite literally in the way. They really have to get Yuri Utkin out of the way. Drama on the finish line here at the end of the men's 12.5 kilometres.
You've still got Holub in top spot.
It's an agonising weight, it really is, for the Belarusian at 39.23.7, and Utkin can barely move. He at least has been sort of shifted across to the side of the finishing area.
Hopkin there, another of the Ukraine skiers, but Holub's time is holding up. He missed 5 targets. I just thought that Utkin on that last lap. Well, Kazik, well, okay. On my screen here, I've not updated it. We've had a few scoring issues today. Holub ahead of Kazik and Kazik ahead of Holub. So
we'll see. At the moment, it's to the tune of 3 seconds. Holub from Kazik. That's, I think, what we need to go off. Siarko comes in having missed 3 targets, and best only for 7th place. It's still that time of 39.23.7 of Holub from Kazik. That's 1 and 2. I think I can tell you with some degree of confidence. So, Yuri Holub from Alexander Kazik and Yuri Utkin just edges out Vitaly Lukyanenko by 0.4. That's decided the last medal here, but it is Holub leading home the Ukrainians for Belarus.
Holub. He's collecting medals, as well as picking up coins in the street. He's doing a great job. Yuri Holub, Belarus.
And this is a man who only debuted at the World Champs last year in Finsterau. And, well, there weren't that many strong indicators that he was going to put this down. He got a bronze in the cross-country 10K freestyle, but he was pretty much nowhere in the biathlon events.
Now the 2 silver medals here before this race in 7.5K biathlon and 20K cross-country, indicating that Holub has the shooting, he has the endurance. And as Kovalevsky makes his way down to the line, the top 7 finish, he'll do that.
So well played, Anatoly Kovalevsky, coming home safe and sound. But we now look at our final finishers. And Chalençon comes home for France, so we're running now at getting on for 3 minutes behind the competition winning time of Yuri Holub. 2:48.3 indeed down on Holub's time for Chalençon. Wasn't the only one to struggle at the range, but others fared worse than him. And as things look now, Yuri Holub has won this Paralympic gold medal, having missed 5 targets in the shooting. Well, what do we say about things like visits to the range being a great leveller? They certainly were today.
1-1-2 is Choi Bo-ge, Republic of Korea. We've still got 5 skiers out on the course. And they've all missed a good number of targets.
Leading that particular tally is Kanafin, the Kazakh, and Gabovsky. And they've both missed 11. Goodness me, that's over half of the targets missed in the range, and that is why I'm afraid that they are still out there and still had to, well, they had to go through the extra meters in the penalty circuit.
We turned the 12.5K race into 14 kilometres, and it hurts in all sorts of ways. On the time, how do you feel? Replacing. Almost seems a cruel penalty, doesn't it? For one little missed target. I didn't miss it by much. Oh, 150 metres. Doesn't matter how much.
Welcome to sport.
That's right.
So Choi, he's missed 6 all told, but this is a big moment for him, led home by Kim Hyun-woo, his guides. And a finish in the 50s, so it's going to be 53 minutes, 20.8 seconds for Choi. And good enough currently for an 11th place finish. We'll see how the likes of Gabovsky come in.
Gabovsky missed 11 targets. He's done an extra training run on the back of the race. Well done him. It's got to be totally discouraging to miss that many and still carry on. But it's about finishing when you get to this level, and credit to him.
I think in terms of well, the finishing time of this race, they'll be relieved because the wind has really picked up out there. The flags are blowing. They really are. So, drama, an incident, plenty of stories to tell towards the end of the men's 12.5 kilometre race for visually impaired athletes here at PyeongChang 2018. And we salute Yuri Holub, one of the newcomers. We hadn't heard too much about him before the World Champs last year in Finsterau. We know about him now. He is the Paralympic Winter Champion in the men's 12.5 kilometre race for visually impaired athletes. Starting with bib 116. He was 5th to go. He missed 5 targets in the shoot, so plenty of penalty loops, but goodness me, he was good on the skis, and he has won the gold medal.
Holub ahead of Kazakh and Utkin of Ukraine.
For our women and men's events.
Alexander Kazakh. Still waiting for a couple of the stragglers to come in.
Yeah, it's Messinger out there, Dubois, and this gentleman, Mikhail Kanafin of the Kazakhstan. He was there in Sochi. Finish of 17th in the 7.5 kilometre race. He competed in cross country in Sochi as well. Got up to 10th with the Kazakh team. But still, that mark stands and it's not going to be challenged. Holub, 39.23.7, our winner.
You get fooled on days like today. You turn up and the sun's shining and it's quite warm and you think, no, not when the breeze kicks in from the west and upsets the shooting and has guys missing, anywhere between 1 and 11 targets. And that is one tough day at the Biathlon office. The language of the exhausted athletes indicates. So Kanafin is in. That leaves Dubois and Messinger of France and Germany, who respectively missed 9 and 5 targets. We've got some view of the course from our commentary position, but can't see them at the moment. But the recognition ceremonies shouldn't be too far away.
He's 42 years of age, Kanafin. Everything tends to hurt a little bit more at that age, doesn't it? A bit more recovery time.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, she'll let me know.
Yeah.
So,
I've forgotten.
well, we're going to see the recognition announcements in the not-too-distant future after our last finishes from Germany, France, Messinger and Dubois, 5 and 9 misses respectively. Well, he might have shared the green ski suit, but Yuri Holub will soon be wearing gold.
That's it. 3 medals from 3 races for Holub. Pretty impressive.
So Dubois, led home by Bastien Sauvage. A savage day for him, Dubois.
All right, a little downhill section. Looks like he's carrying his own refreshments around, strapped to the back there. In case he's not able to receive some out on the course. It's not easy to pick that up for the visually impaired athletes, and take a little bottle around himself, a la the cyclists on the Tour de France. After missing 9 targets, he feel like he's made a Tour of France, but this is PyeongChang. And he's making his way down this fast right-hander into the home straight. And he's almost there. Just 18 years of age, so he's got some more racing under his belt. Sure, his time for finishes will pick up. He's going to be in the sprints. 15K.
Yeah, I suppose it's important to remember that as regards the biathlon competition specifically, these athletes will go again in the longer distance. This, the 12.5K, known as the middle distance event. Dubois comes in 11.5 minutes slower than our leading time. Just one out there.
Big embrace between athlete and guide there. Never mind the time. It's about the finish.
the screen.
Justin Savage and Thomas Dubois, but Yuri Holub and Dmitry Budzilovic direction on the side for the Belarusian Victor. Chiavi home Kazik. Being not so much a slow race, but a long one. Calculator, add up the total number of missed targets. It will take a little while. Missed targets. That's a lot in a field of 15 competitors.
So let's look at the results from the women's 10K race won by Oksana Shishkova. That was a surprise. Mikalina Lisova was the big favourite, that she finished in the silver medal position, and Kara Klug of Germany just got in ahead of Olya Belutska to the tune of 14 seconds, winning the bronze medal there. So Lisova out the gold medal.
You know, the surprising thing about the margin was that it was much more than just one missed target that separated Shishkova from Lisova. It's a couple of minutes, really. That just tells you that Shishkova had the fast skis on today.
Well, I suppose Lisova will have to be sanguine. You can't win them all, as they say. And Lisova didn't win today. Standards are so high, though. It's silver medal. Still nothing to sniff at. And it's someone else's turn. In this case, Oksana Shishkova of Ukraine.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the medalist from the Biathlon women's 10-kilometer visually impaired.
Shishkova has waited for this moment more than a fair amount of time. Occasion where she gets the better of Mikalina Lisova. And finally it's happened. That's not to underplay the great effort of Clara Klug of Germany. Her first Paralympic Winter Games to pick up the bronze medal.
Bronze medalist.
And you can see just by the bid numbers there, the seedings were pretty much right in terms of the medalists, not necessarily the order, because Lisova 106 was second here.
Neutral Paralympic athlete.
Klug with the bronze. Lisova, the outgoing Paralympic champion in this event.
She's now got 14 Paralympic Winter Games medals. That's her 6 silver, 5 gold, 3 bronze.
Champions representing Ukraine.
It just means an enormous amount to someone who probably perennially feels the bridesmaid. Oksana Shishkova steps up, and it's relief as much as anything. After all these third and second places. 2 silvers here as well in PyeongChang already before today. She claims the ultimate prize. So well done to Oksana Shishkova for her persistence.
Good job.
Yuri Holub won the men's 12.5 kilometre race for visually impaired athletes. Alexander Kazik won the silver medal, and Yuri Utkin, the second Ukrainian on the podium, took the bronze. So finally a DNF for the last man standing, if you will, Messinger, the German, so unable to get over the finish line at the end, Nico Messinger. So a lot of blue and yellow, 7 Ukrainian athletes in this race. 2 of them lead with medals. Alexander Kazik and Yuri Utkin. So he had to wait before it was confirmed, but Yuri Holub finally can celebrate. It's already been a wonderful games for him, and now he has a gold medal here in the 12.5 kilometres. Kazik, and then Utkin, but the green giant Yuri Holub with the victory. And
Ladies and
the
gentlemen,
recognition announcements to follow. The athletes don't get their medals presented here. That happens at a later juncture at the medals plaza. But they are paraded in front of the stands, and it's an opportunity to just let the moment sink in.
bronze medalists representing Ukraine.
Bronze medal for Ukraine. Another reminder of just how far the Ukrainian Paralympic biathletes have come in the last Olympic cycle.
Silver medalists representing Ukraine.
Silver for 21-year-old Alexander Kazik. But the gold medal goes to Yuri Holub.
Gold medalists and Paralympic champions representing.
What a games it's been. A pair of silvers already. In biathlon and cross country, and now he steps up to the top spot on the podium. Announced his presence at the World Champs last year in Finsterau, Germany, and now he is a Paralympic champion. Yuri Holub with a gold medal in the men's 12.5 kilometres for visually impaired athletes. It completes a breathless program here at the Alpensia Biathlon Centre. We've seen 6 fabulous races, the last 2 of which were for the visually impaired athletes here. The middle distance races, the longer distances are to come later on the PyeongChang 2018 schedule. But we leave you with these images of a sunbathed Alpensia Biathlon Centre. It's been a windy day, it's been a dramatic day, but it's been a hugely enjoyable day too.
Well, here we have our schedule for tomorrow. If you enjoyed what you saw today, you'll enjoy tomorrow.
So 6 sets of medals have been awarded today in the Paralympic Biathlon competitions at the PyeongChang 2018 Paralympic Winter Games. It's been a day of drama, it's been a day of excitement, it's been a day of terrific racing, and we'll see you again very soon for the longer distance events. Those are the middle distance races though for the men and women here in PyeongChang 2018, done and dusted. Hope you've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed your company. See you soon. Bye for now.